to Mobility Monday. I am just about to start my workout for today, so I hope that you will join me for that. And then please stick around because immediately after the workout, I am going to be doing my weekly Monday Mobility Challenge, and I would love for you to try that with me as well. All I'm using today is a set of dumbbells and my jump rope, but you do not need any exercise equipment whatsoever to follow along because I will be providing equipment-free substitutions. However, we're going to be doing sit-ups, so you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you like an exercise mat or a yoga mat. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice, and if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So there are really just two exercises, but I'm going to be starting with a quick little buy-in, just 1 minute of jump rope. So I have Rebecca here with me today. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link and use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. If you do not have a jump rope, that's fine. You can eliminate the buy-in and just make this workout a 20-minute AMRAP, and that's fine. But if you do want to include the buy-in and you don't have a jump rope, 1 minute of any kind of moderate pace cardio exercise you want to do is fine. So you really can just pantomime jumping rope. You can jog in place, you can do high knees, jumping jacks, mountain climbers, pendulum, toe taps, it doesn't matter, okay? If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill or an elliptical, you can hop on one of those for 1 minute. You can do up and down the steps for 1 minute. It's just the first minute of the workout that I'm using as a buy-in because the workout is going to be 20 minutes, but it's going to be a 1 minute buy-in plus a 19-minute AMRAP. So if you want, you can just eliminate the buy-in, make it a 20-minute AMRAP, and that's your solution. But if you want to include the buy-in, you can just spend the first minute of the workout doing any kind of cardio exercise you want. All right, so that's all I'm doing with my jump rope. For the remainder of the workout, I'm just going to be doing 2 exercises. We're going to be going back and forth. I'm going to start with something similar to a man maker. I just don't like that name, so I am not going to be calling this a man maker, but if you know what man makers are, just do man makers. If you follow my workouts regularly, we're basically doing espressos. So if you're familiar with what an espresso is, it's basically just an espresso, but I'm changing it a little bit. But really, any burpee variation you want to do will work with or without weight. I'm going to be using dumbbells, but you don't have to. You don't have to incorporate weight. So honestly, if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, just do any burpee variation, okay? It's really, really easy to customize this workout. For reference and for reference only, I am using 10-pound dumbbells. That is a good weight for me. That's going to challenge me today. However, you may need to use something lighter or heavier than that. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It also depends on what you have available to you. And of course, it depends on how hard you are looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, household items can work. So for example, you could grab a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight. You could fill them with water. You might be able to make them a little bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried lentils or beans or kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent. If you're going to take your workout to the park or the beach, maybe you could fill them with sand. So get creative and use what you've got, but as long as you can find something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself or break something and make a mess, and as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items can work. Just be sure that if you are not using dumbbells that are flat on the bottom like mine are, that you apply the modification I'm going to show you. My dumbbells are hex dumbbells. Hex meaning that they're shaped like a hexagon on the ends, and that means they're flat on the bottom. So I'm going to be holding on to my dumbbells while I am in a plank pose, and I'm going to be doing push-ups on the dumbbells. I'm going to be doing plank rows on the dumbbells. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, they're liable to roll around on you while you're holding onto them in a plank position. So please just be smart, be safe, use your common sense, make the decision that is best for you. I know there are plenty of people who will hold on to rounded dumbbells while they're in a plank position, and they'll do push-ups on rounded dumbbells and do plank rows with rounded dumbbells. So you have to decide what level of risk you are comfortable taking, but for the record, if your dumbbells are not flat on the bottom, or if you are using household items for weight, like water bottles or shampoo bottles, I would prefer that you apply the modification that I'm going to show you so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor or the ground for stability. All right, but if you don't have dumbbells, you don't have any kind of household items or anything that's going to work for weight, that's fine. You do not need to add weight to the workout. All right, the second exercise is just going to be a sit-up variation. So again, if you don't want to add weight, any sit-up variation you want to do will work. So let me go ahead and start with the sit-ups. I'll show you what I'm doing, and then I'll show you an equipment-free substitution. Really, I'll show you the equipment-free substitution first because you can just do sit-ups. Okay, just sit up and reach. So I like to extend my arms up overhead and lengthen my back and reach up at the top of my sit-up and then return the movement. Just make sure that you are controlling the movement on the way up, controlling the movement on the way down. If you prefer to have your hands clasped behind your head or behind your ears or crossed in front of your chest, that's fine. Really, any sit-up variation, any crunch variation, any ab exercise at all that you want to do will work, okay? But just a regular sit-up is going to be the closest thing to what I'm doing without any added weight. I am going to be holding on to just one weight while I do my sit-ups. So I'm going to have one hand on either side of my dumbbell like this. If you are stronger than I am, or if your dumbbells are lighter than mine are, and you feel like it makes more sense to hold on to both of your weights, you can absolutely do this same exercise holding your weights together like this. We're doing a lot of reps though of this exercise, so for me, I am opting to just hold on to one dumbbell for my sit-ups, okay? But again, you make the decision that is best for you. But I'm just going to be doing essentially the same thing. So I'm going to start down here on my back, on my mat. My knees are bent, my feet are flat on the mat. My arms are extended up overhead, and I have a hold of my dumbbell with one hand on either side of the dumbbell. Now I'm going to sit up and reach. And now here I'm going to add a tricep extension or a tricep overhead press. And all that means is that I'm going to bend my elbows, let the dumbbell fall behind my head, and then straighten my arms again. And then I'm going to reverse the movement and come back down to my starting position. All right, so it's the exact same exercise, except I'm adding this tricep extension at the top. Super simple. So if you are going to be holding onto weight and adding that tricep extension, you just want to make sure that your the insides of your elbows stay glued to your temples, so that as you are bending your elbows and lowering the weight behind you, you want to make sure that from your shoulders to your elbows, you want this to stay perfectly stationary. You're just hinging at the elbow. So as you drop the weight behind you, you want to make sure that your elbows are not going back behind you with the weight. The inside of your elbow should stay glued to your temples as you lower the weight behind you. And as you straighten your arm and press the weight back up overhead, you don't want your elbow coming forward. Keep the insides of your elbows glued to your temples the entire time so that you're just hinging at the elbows. But that's it. That is my sit-up variation. So now for this first exercise, which is basically espressos, which are basically man makers, which is basically just a burpee variation. So you do any burpee variation you want. My burpee variation is going to look like this. I'm going to start holding my weights to my side like this. My palms are facing each other. My palms are going to be facing each other throughout the entire duration of this exercise. So I'm going to bend down, place my dumbbells flat on the ground in front of me. You can step your feet back one at a time. I'm going to be jumping my feet back so that I'm in a plank position holding onto my dumbbells. Now I'm going to do a push-up on my dumbbells. And then I'm going to row one weight. And all I mean by that is that I'm going to bend my elbow and lift the weight up towards my shoulder on the same side. then place the weight back down with control. Now I'm going to repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to do another push-up, and now I'm going to row the other weight. So pick up the weight, bend the elbow, lift the weight up towards the shoulder on the same side, place the weight back down with control. Now you can step your feet back in one at a time. I'm going to be jumping my feet in, and I'm going to stand, bringing the weights with me. As I do that, I'm going to do a hammer curl. So it just means that I'm going to bend my elbows and curl the weights up towards my shoulders. And again, my palms are still facing each other. So if you think about the way you would swing a hammer, that's the grip you have on your dumbbells. As I do that, I'm going to be coming down into a squat. So that's all going to happen at the same time. So I've just done my push-ups, jumped my feet in. As I stand, I'm going to curl the weights up to my shoulders as I come down into my squat. And then as I stand, I'm going to press the weights up overhead, bring the weights back down to my shoulders, straighten my elbows, and return to my starting position. All right, so put all together, it looks like this. Weights down, jump or step the feet back, push up, plank row, push up, plank row, jump or step the feet in, stand, squat with a hammer curl, overhead press, and straighten the arms. All right, so that is my burpee variation. Now, if you want to do that, but you are using dumbbells that are rounded on the ends, or you're using household items, it's a very simple modification. I'm just going to ask that you please place one hand flat on the floor or the ground while you are doing your plank rows, and I'm going to ask that you put your hands flat on the floor or the ground for your push-up, okay? Other than that, everything is the same. So you're going to start holding your weights, palms are facing each other. You're going to bend down, place your weights flat on the floor or the ground, let go of them, place your hands on the floor or the ground, flat on the floor or the ground, in between your dumbbells. Now jump or step the feet back. Do your push-up with your hands flat on the floor or the ground. Now, pick up one hand, leaving your other hand flat on the ground. Roll your weight, place it down with control, let go. Both hands flat on the ground. Now repeat that on the other side. Push up, pick up the other weight. You're going to row this weight while your other hand remains flat on the ground. Place the weight down and let go. Place both hands flat on the ground. Jump or step your feet in, and from here, you can just pick up your weights, do a hammer curl as you come down into your squat, overhead press as you stand, bring the weights back down, straighten the arms. Okay, so it's the exact same exercise, but you're just modifying the push-up and the plank rows so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor or the ground for stability. So that's your modification if you're using household items. If you're not adding weight at all, again, any burpee variation you want to do is fine. So without any added weight, I guess if you want to keep it the most similar to what I'm doing, you really could do like Santana push-ups or sumo push-ups. So, or to add a couple of shoulder taps, okay? Anything where after your push-up, you're lifting one hand, just to make it similar, okay? So you really can just place both hands flat on the floor or the ground, jump or step your feet back, do a push-up into a side plank, repeat that on the other side, okay? Or you could do a push-up and a shoulder tap, push-up and shoulder tap, something like that, okay? Then jump or step the feet in, squat, and stand. Since you're not holding on to any weight, you're not going to do a hammer curl, you're not going to do an overhead press. So if you want to add something, you can add a calf raise, or a jump, or a kick, or a lunge, okay? Some other component to make up for the fact that you are not pressing anything up overhead. That's up to you, okay? But any burpee variation you want is fine, with or without a push-up. Push up from the toes, push up from the knees. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you're minding your form on the push-up. And if you're adding a squat, make sure you're minding your form on the squats. So for your squats, You just want to remember shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, tighten up your abs, push your booty back. Think about trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, keeping that chest lifted high. So think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. Spine is elongated, back is flat, weight is in the heels. You see how I can actually pick up my toes? From this position is where you can sink down into your squat and then press the ground away. So just remember flat back, weight in the heels. And for your push-up, remember these 3 bullet points. Number 1, head in line with the spine. So if you imagine that you are standing with your back up against the wall and gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where you want your head to be, and that's where you want your head to stay. So make sure you're not bobbing your head up and down. Keep your head still and make sure your head is perfectly in line with your spine. You want your shoulders away from your ears, and again, you want a flat back. So with our squats, when I was telling you want a flat back, you are pushing your booty back, trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. Your spine is elongated. You're trying to avoid a rounded back like this. With your push-ups, you're trying to avoid an arch in your back. So coming down, you're going to start by spreading out all 10 fingers, placing your hands directly underneath your shoulders, step your feet back. So now our 3 bullet points, head in line with the spine. So you don't want to let your head drop down like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. Just have your head in a nice neutral position, right in line with your spine. Shoulders should be away from the ears. So if you find that you're kind of sinking down into your shoulders like this, press the ground away from you. Imagine trying to touch the ceiling with this middle part of your back, right in between your shoulder blades. Actively press the ground away from you. Push yourself up as high as you can in that plank pose so that your shoulders are away from your ears, and then flat back. So again, we're trying to avoid an arch in the back. So if you allow your hips or your belly to start drooping down towards the mat like this, do you see how that's causing my back to arch? You're going to get rid of that by really tightening up your abs. So if you imagine someone is about to come along and punch you as hard as they can in your stomach, you're bracing for that impact. That is how tight your abs should be. You're going to use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them lifted nice and high. So then once you are in this beautifully perfect plank pose and your body is in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders, or if you're doing knee push-ups, your straight line is going to be from your knees to your shoulders. Just make sure that nothing moves. So the goal is that you're bending your elbows and lowering your chest as close to the ground as you can without ever breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So if you are unable to get your chest all the way down, that's fine. You have 2 options. You can shorten up your range of motion, or you can put your knees down. If you put your knees down and you're still unable to get your chest all the way down to the ground, again, that's fine. Just shorten up your range of motion. Get your chest as close to the ground as you can without breaking that straight line. And then once you've gotten to that point, push yourself back up. You can always work on growing your range of motion, but it's more important to remember head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, flat back. So your goal is this. Your goal is to get your chest all the way down to the ground. However, if you are unable to do that without breaking that straight line from your heels to your shoulders, do not compensate by lowering your hips or your belly down to the ground. Do not compensate or try to trick yourself into thinking that you're getting all the way down by lowering your forehead down to the ground. Just shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only get your chest this close to the ground without breaking that straight line, this is your push-up. Okay? So shortening up your range of motion is fine. Just make sure that you keep your body in one perfectly straight line the entire time, that there's always integrity in that plank pose. All right, but that's it. That's all we're doing today, just those 2 exercises. So I already kind of explained the format a little bit, but here's the way it all fits together. So the workout itself is going to be exactly 20 minutes long, but everything is 1 + 19 because today's January 19th, 119. So instead of a 20-minute AMRAP, I am doing a 1-minute buy-in with my jump rope, and then a 19-minute AMRAP, 119, okay? So I'm going to start with 1 minute of jump rope, And then as soon as that minute is up, I'm gonna hang up my jump rope. I'm done with my jump rope. I'm going to get right into my 19-minute AMRAP. So within our 19-minute AMRAP, again, it's 1:19. So we're going to do 1 rep of our espressos slash man makers slash burpees, whatever you're calling it. You're going to do 1 of those and then 19 sit-ups. And that's it. You're just going to complete as many rounds, going back and forth between those 2 exercises as many times as you can within that 19-minute countdown. So hopefully that all makes sense. Please remember that I do always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you, so watch me do it. Read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications, I am always here to help, so please ask questions if you have them. It is very important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it's also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me, so I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please do not hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. And I also just want to remind you before we begin, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, to make sure that you are going at your own pace and make sure you're minding your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. If you're in really good shape, you are definitely going to be faster than I am, and that's wonderful. Be faster than I am. Just make sure that you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you find that you're racing to stay ahead of me because you want to beat my score, but your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. If you are slower than I am, that is also wonderful, because you wouldn't even know that you were slower than I am unless you got dressed and got your little booty out here with me today and did the work. As long as you're doing the reps and you're putting in the work, don't worry about how fast you're going. Do not race to keep up with me if it means that your form is getting sloppy. Whether you're racing to stay ahead of me or racing to keep up with me, if your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down, okay? It is always going to be safer and more effective to do fewer reps with excellent form than it is to do lots and lots of sloppy reps. So please make sure that you are minding your form. You should never be sacrificing your form for speed. And please make sure that you are working to your own level. So that means choosing dumbbells or household items that are an appropriate weight for you. It means dropping to a lighter weight if the weight you chose initially becomes too taxing, or it might mean ditching the added weight altogether and switching to a body weight burpee variation. That's absolutely fine. Eliminating the added weight from your sit-ups, okay? It might mean shortening up your range of motion. It might mean modifying the exercises, putting your knees down for the push-ups. Maybe you did the first few rounds with doing the push-ups from your toes, and then it starts to get too difficult, put your knees down for the push-ups, okay? So just modify the exercises as needed, rest as needed. There are no designated rest intervals. So if you need to pause and rest, you should pause and rest. I want you to challenge yourself to keep your rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. So if you fall behind, either because you're just working at a slower pace than I am, or you're finding that you need to take rest breaks where I'm not taking them, or you need longer rest breaks than what I'm taking, that's fine. You can always pause the video if you want, and then you can come back and join me. Your workout will end up taking longer than 20 minutes if you do that, but it's your workout. If you're the one doing it, it's your workout. So you do it in whatever way works for you. But if you fall behind because you're needing to rest, then that's fine. You don't have to keep my pace. You don't have to do the exact same amount of reps I'm doing. This is an AMRAP, A-M-R-A-P. It stands for as many rounds as possible, or as many reps as possible, but as many reps as possible with good form. So again, please just be smart, be safe, use your common sense, listen to your body, and always make the decision that is best for you. And just do your best, okay? Please remember that your best is always good enough. So let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and begin the workout, grab a set of dumbbells if you have them. If not, maybe a couple of water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight, for example. And again, if you have nothing that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, you don't need to add weight, but you will want something soft beneath you. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should suffice. And if you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. Grab your jump rope if you have one, and if you're jumping rope with me today, and then pause the video, go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a little 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get right into our 1 + 19-minute workout. Or if you're skipping the buy-in, it can just be a 20-minute workout. So as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm-up. You're going to begin by allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that your arm is relaxed. You're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just allowing gravity to do all of the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So now we're going to do the other side. Let go with your hand, allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure your arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. You don't want your shoulders all tense and hunched up here by your ears. Shoulders should be down away from your ears. Next, we're going to do some head rolls. So you'll start by just allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. Each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier. Allow your range of motion to increase until finally your entire torso is just kind of spilling down in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Now we're rolling the shoulders. You can roll them towards the back or towards the front. Just make sure that you're making big circles with your shoulders, really exploring your full range of motion. Next, we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So extend your arms straight out to the sides and start by just making small circles either towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you want to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making your circles as big as you possibly can. And again, exploring your full range of motion. Now step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend your knees and kind of sweep your arms in front of you as you straighten your legs. You're reaching up as high as you can. Each time you bend your knees, allow your range of motion to increase, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. They should be wider than shoulder width apart. And we're just going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. And now adding the arms, just waking up the shoulders. So now with each lunge, I'm reaching across my body. It's like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're just going to march in place. So step the feet in and march. Starting with your knees low, but gradually as the interval progresses, you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes, and now we're gonna jog in place. Same thing, knees are low to start, but gradually you're going to start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can. Next is booty kicks. So keep jogging, but now with each step, you're bringing your foot behind you. Really try to kick yourself in the booty cheek with your heel. If you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or a chair for support for this next one. If not, hands on the hips is fine. Shift your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose, we're just waking up our hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So put this foot down, shift your weight again, pick up the opposite foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then gradually as the interval progresses, If it feels comfortable, you can start expanding the range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now put this foot down, transfer your weight again. Extend the other leg out in front. Bring it around and behind, making a semicircle. Each time you make that semicircle, you're lifting that leg higher and higher. And for the final 2 reps, we're gonna do a hip circle. So driving the knee up towards your chest, use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side. Extending the opposite leg out in front, making a semicircle. Bringing that leg around and behind you, lifting the leg higher and higher each time. And now 2 hip circles. Drive the knee up towards your chest. Use your hand to guide it around. Finishing with a hamstring stretch. So hinging at the hips. I'm using this pose to assist me. If you want to use the chair or the arm of your couch or the wall, it might make it a little bit easier to get into this stretch. You want to keep your back as flat as possible so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. So using the wall or a chair to assist you can make it a little bit more accessible, and it might make it a little bit more comfortable getting into that stretch. But that's it, that's our little 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into the workout, starting with our buy-in. This is 1 minute of jump rope. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is just 10 seconds to get ready. And now any style of jump rope you want to do for 1 minute. That's it. That's the buy-in. So now moving on to our 19-minute AMRAP. So starting with your burpee variation. Exercise, sit-up variation, with or without weight. I'm doing a sit-up plus a tricep extension. 19 reps. to 19. So we're just going to repeat that as many times as we can before our 19 minutes is up. So starting again with 1 rep of whatever burpee variation you are doing, with or without weight. So I'm placing the weights down, jump the feet back, push up on the dumbbells, plank row. Repeat that on the other side. Jump or step the feet in. Squat with a hammer curl, overhead press. Just 1 rep. Everything is 1:19. 1 minute buy-in, 19-minute AMRAP. 1 rep of your burpee variation, 19 reps of your sit-up variation. So now another 19 sit-ups. So sit up, press the weight up overhead, tricep extension, and reverse the movement. Return to your starting position. That's 1, 2, 3. Keep going. We're doing 19 reps. It's 10, 9 more. That's 16, 3 more. 17, 18, and 19. That's round 2. So starting round 3 with another modified espresso or man maker. If it's getting too taxing with the weight, drop the weight, switch to an easier burpee variation. 1 rep. And now right back to sit-ups. Another 19 reps. If it's getting too taxing, you can eliminate the tricep extension at the top, or you can eliminate the added weight altogether. That's up to you. 19 sit-ups. It's 10. 18, one more. And 19. So you can hold on to both weights for those, but if you remember during the tutorial, I told you we're doing a lot of reps of that exercise. One weight is plenty for me. All right, we still have more than 10 minutes left. Let's keep pushing. So one more rep of whatever burpee variation you're doing. And 19 sit-ups. Raise your hand if you're realizing that you desperately need to work on your triceps. I'm trying to raise my hand, but I can't. I have no strength left to raise my hand. It's 15, just 4 more. And 19. The bulk of this workout is focusing on abs and triceps, 2 areas where I am particularly weak. So I'm struggling, but let's keep pushing. Another 19 sit-ups. 19. Let's do at least 2 more rounds. I know it's hard, but we only have 4.5 minutes left. Let's push. One final round. There's enough time. Okay. Final 19 reps of sit-ups. Even if I don't complete all 19 reps before time is up, I'm gonna do all 19 reps. So it might take me just a few seconds more than 19 minutes, but I wanna at least complete this round. Hopefully I can do it before time is up, we'll see. It's gonna be close. That's 10. 9 more. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. seconds left. Let's do one more burpee. All right, that's it. That's our 19 minutes. That was amazing. That was a super tough workout for only being 20 minutes long. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. But first, whenever I do a workout that incorporates jump rope, which this one technically did, even though it was just for the first minute. In addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. When I say a set of 100, I just mean 100 revolutions of the jump rope. So if you do not want to do a bonus set of jump rope, you don't have to. It is optional. You can just cheer me on and hope that I can get through it without tripping over rude Becca. But you do need to do your bonus burpee. So if you're not doing the bonus round of jump rope, that's fine. Take a minute to breathe, and then we'll do our bonus burpee together. If you do want to join me for this bonus round of jump rope, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. I always just kind of jog in place while I'm jumping rope. You can jump with your feet together. You can do boxer shuffle, twist jumps, jump rope jacks, doesn't matter. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. So if you would like to join me for this bonus set of jump rope, here we go. You're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 100. So that's our little bonus set of jump rope. And now we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is our final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You want to keep moving for a couple minutes while you allow your heart rate to come down and while you allow your breathing to normalize, so you can pace back and forth, kind of shake out the legs, and focus on slowing down your breathing by breathing all the way down to your belly button. So each time you inhale, I want you to feel your diaphragm being pulled down. Allow your rib cage to expand as you make space for all that air, and visualize filling up your entire torso with air. And then use your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So bringing one arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed, and make sure your shoulder is completely relaxed as well. If your shoulder is all tense and hunched up by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, and make sure you're continuing to move. So I'm just kind of shaking out my legs right now. You can really even just shift your weight from foot to foot, or you can pace, whatever feels natural to you. One more deep breath here, so sending that breath all the way down to your belly button as you inhale. Using your diaphragm to control the air as you exhale. Come out, shake out the arms. Let's get the other shoulder, so bringing the opposite arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. Straight arm is completely relaxed. Shoulder is completely relaxed. You're continuing to move, either shifting your weight from foot to foot, shaking out the legs, or pacing back and forth, and you're continuing to focus on your breathing. So let's take one more deep breath here. Feel your diaphragm being pulled down as you inhale. Send that breath all the way down to your belly button. And control the exhale. Nice. Shake it out. Let's do a tricep stretch because holy cannoli, I'm going to need to stretch my triceps after that workout. So bending one elbow. Now place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You want to avoid having this free hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder or your elbow. So point those fingers straight down at the ground as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that you're continuing to move and make sure you're continuing to focus on your breathing. So one more deep breath all the way down to the belly button. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps and come out. Other side, bending your other elbow, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. Continuing to shift my weight from foot to foot. Again, you can shake up the legs, you can pace back and forth, just keep moving and keep focusing on your breathing, slowing down your breathing. One more deep breath all the way down to your belly button. One more final gentle pull. Feel that stretch in your triceps. Control the exhale and come out. Shake out the arms. We'll finish with a quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold onto the wall or the arm of your couch, your kitchen counter, dining room table, anything that's strong enough to support you and anything that's sturdy and stable will work. So you're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side. If you are not holding onto anything for support, you can go ahead and reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. But either way, you want to really press your heel into your booty cheek, actively press it in there. As you are doing that, make sure that you're tilting your pelvis forward. So think about tucking your booty underneath you and trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you're doing that, as you're tilting your pelvis forward, make sure you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're going to feel that stretch intensify in your quads as you isolate them more effectively, but I also want you to feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So come out, shake out the legs. Let's get the other side. I'll show you from this side so you can see what I'm talking about. So bending the opposite knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you are holding onto something for support. If you're not holding onto anything for support, go ahead and reach behind you, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, press your heel into your booty cheek, and now tilt your pelvis forward. So you can see I'm kind of tucking my booty underneath me, sucking that belly button all the way back to my spine, and as I do that, I'm continuing to really press my heel into my booty cheek. Feeling that nice stretch in the quads, feel it intensify as you tilt your pelvis forward, and then feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. Let's take one more nice deep breath here. So sending that breath all the way down to your belly button. Control the air as you exhale and come out. And one more time, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit, and that's it. That's our cool down. So if you find that you're still breathing heavily, your heart rate is still elevated, just take a few more minutes to pace around back and forth. You can do a little more light stretching. That's a great idea. Just to remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes to stretch every single day. If you have time to do it right now, immediately after the workout is always going to be the most effective and the most efficient time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But it doesn't matter what time of day you do your stretching, as long as you get it done. Taking the time to stretch every day is going to go a long way towards alleviating any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing the day after a workout. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and of course it's going to improve your flexibility. Just remember that if you do put off your stretching until later on in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. But that's it. That's the warm up, the workout, the cool down. So now it is Mobility Monday, so that means that I found another mobility challenge on Instagram for us to try. Let me go grab my phone so that we can watch the reel a few times together and we understand what it is that we are about to attempt. So I am watching the reel on Instagram right now. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. We'll watch it a few times together. Can you do the sushi roll challenge? All right, so you're going to need a dumbbell for this, and they are just holding on to the dumbbell with both hands in the middle of the dumbbell, and then they're really just doing a push-up and then rolling over. It's a very simple movement. Now, she's holding the dumbbell differently than every single other person who did the challenge, but she also failed. He's showing off doing an extra push-up. So you're basically just lowering your chest down to the dumbbell and then rolling over. It is very simple, and then pushing yourself back up. And that's it. That's the whole challenge. It's a very simple movement. Now, some of them were not really doing a very clean push-up, but they were still getting a check mark. So I gather it's not really like having excellent form on your push-up that matters. They were kind of like snaking their way up. I imagine that that's not part of the challenge because the people who were not doing like good quality push-ups were still getting a check mark. So don't worry about too much about your form on the push-up. I think the point is just that you're able to get your chest down and roll over without using your arms to assist you, and then somehow push yourself back up, all right? And that's the challenge. Of course, I want my push-up to look perfect. I'll do my best, as should you. So let's give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I don't think this one should be too tough. I think there was only one person who didn't get it. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to get this on the first try. So just make sure that you have something soft beneath you. I'm going to start towards one end of my mat. I have my hex dumbbell here, and I'm just going to grab a hold of my dumbbell with both hands in the middle of the dumbbell like this, come up into a plank pose, and now we're going to basically do a push-up on the dumbbell, and we're going to roll over. So I'm going to lower my chest down to the dumbbell, and now I'm hugging the dumbbell into my chest, rolling over, and now I have to push myself back up. And that's the challenge. I think this seems like one that we maybe should do both ways, just to make sure that you can do it on both sides. So should we go back in the other direction? From here, let's do it again. So coming down, bringing your chest down to the dumbbell. Now hug the dumbbell into your chest, roll over, and push yourself back up. And that's it, we did it. Yeah, so that wasn't super tough. I didn't find it super challenging, but I did kind of scrape up my knuckles a little bit on the concrete. So I will be donning a pair of fitness gloves before I try it again. So I'm doing it again, even though I was successful, because if you were not successful with your first attempt, remember warped wall rules, so you get 3 chances. So even though my first attempt was successful, I'm going to do it a couple more times with you anyway in solidarity. And also just so that I can work on cleaning mine up a little bit, making it flow a little better, making it look a little prettier. I want to get it looking as good as I can so that I can share my own Instagram reel tomorrow. So look for that tomorrow. If you are not following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram at BugSusan, but I will also share it here on YouTube. I will share it as a YouTube short, so look for that tomorrow. So if you were successful, let's do it a couple more times anyway in solidarity, and so you can work on cleaning yours up. Maybe you want to share your own reel as well. If you do, please let me know and please tag me. And if you were not successful, let's go ahead and try it again and see if you are able to successfully complete it this second time. So fitness gloves, I think, are a good idea. If you have them, for sure, make sure you've got something soft beneath you. I think actually I might move my mat up a little bit too, because Yeah, I think that makes more sense to do this with my dumbbell kind of on the mat, because I think I scraped my elbow a little bit too. I don't necessarily recommend doing this on concrete, but hey, you know, you work with what you got. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's go ahead with attempt number 2. So you definitely want to start with your dumbbell all the way towards one end of your mat. Grab a hold of your dumbbell from the middle, and now coming up into your plank pose. Lower your chest down to the dumbbell. Hug the dumbbell to your chest as you roll over. And push yourself back up. Now let's go back in the opposite direction. So lower your chest down to the dumbbell. Hug the dumbbell into your chest. Roll over. And push yourself back up. And that's it. That's a fun little challenge. I guess it's fun for me because I was able to successfully complete it. So if you're having trouble with it, maybe it's not a lot of fun, but hopefully you were able to get it that second time, or hopefully it was at least a little bit cleaner. Mine is already starting to flow a little better, and now that I've talked us through it a couple of times, maybe with this third attempt, we can pick up the pace a little bit. Maybe it will help you to use a little bit of momentum to roll over. But yeah, we're getting it, so this is good. If your second attempt was also unsuccessful, we get one more chance. If you were successful with your first and or second attempt, let's do it once more anyway. Let's really work on cleaning it up. So take one more deep breath, and as soon as you're ready, here we go. Attempt number 3. So starting with your dumbbell all the way towards one end of your mat, grab a hold of the middle of your dumbbell coming up into your plank pose. Now lower your chest down to the dumbbell, hug the dumbbell into your chest as you roll over, and push yourself back up. Now we're going to go back the other way. So lower your chest down to the dumbbell, roll over as you hug the dumbbell into your chest, and push yourself back up. And that's it, we did it. Mine still is not really flowing as smoothly as I would like it. I definitely need to keep working on it. I want to clean it up quite a bit more, but I was able to successfully complete the challenge. So for me, that is another successful Monday Mobility Challenge in the books. Let me know if you were successful, and if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately, and even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, if you have any questions about how to do the exercises with the correct form, I'm always here to help. So please just ask. That is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I just have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is happy birthday, because you guys, it's my birthday. So that is why we are doing this January 19th themed workout. 119 was the theme for today, and that's why, because January 19th is my birthday. So happy birthday to me. If you are still watching this video, hello. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and wishing me a happy birthday. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.